20 years ago, 9/11, I was I lived at that time in Salt Lake City, and I was visiting El Paso because I had a new grandson. My son Paul is a professor at UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso, and he and Alexandra, his dear wife, had a second child. George was about 3, and Dan was born the end of August, and I can't remember why I was delayed getting there, but I had been visiting with them for about 4 or 5 days, and the morning of 9/11, I got up. They were taking me to the airport after breakfast, so I was all dressed, ready to go, packed, everything. I walked out of my room, and darling little George happened to come out of his room the same time, and we walked toward the kitchen area where Paul and Alexandra were fixing breakfast, as it turned out. The TV was on, which surprised me because they didn't allow it on at meal times, or in fact, it was very limited that George could even watch it. Anyway, he says, and I didn't particularly look at it, but George said to me, "Grandma, that airplane just hit that house." I looked at the TV. Something was going up, and Paul rushed out and turned the TV off and said, "We'll just listen." I said, "What happened? What's going on?" And George says, "It's a cartoon." As we ate breakfast, they told me that there was an attack on the Twin Towers. Several other places. We got on the phone, and of course all flights were stopped. We found, I forget it, I think we ended up only 2 or 3 days, I went back, but there were no flights. We were in constant touch with them, and they were working, to tell everyone, their passengers, right away. I was practically speechless. I mean, we agreed that there was no point in even talking about it because it upset us. We couldn't get away from it, but I had darling George, I had darling Dan, I had my son and his dear wife, and I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 days later, which of course I loved spending with them. And I got on a plane, and it was just like zombies. We all pleasant. We had that haunted look in our eye. What happened? George now doesn't remember that at all. He's 21. He remembers, though, studying it in school, and our changes are still, of course, going on now. It was just a game changer, and I thought to myself, I am so lucky to be surrounded by a love and caring family. Why does this have to happen? I still don't know. But it doesn't get much better when you think about it. And Catherine asked me to do this, I think, and I have a darling picture of me and baby Dan. This is George and baby Dan. And baby Dan is now a junior at Yale. George has graduated, and he is hoping to help save the world from collapsing with climate change and everything going wrong and so on. And he is an intern with a Quaker group based in Atlanta, and he's now had his training. I believe this will have to do with trees, but I'm not entirely sure. At any rate, they are darlings, and 9/11 is still like the worst dream, and it's not a dream. And it was, I really like talking about it. Generally, I don't like to try to bring it up to people because they lost so many lives, and people lost their husbands and their wives and their children and their best friends, and it just goes on and on. Anyway, I'm in Florida now at Hammock and enjoying my time here. But isn't that it's a nation changer, it's a life changer, and I'm just doubly glad for my family.